I'm coming to the board asking for help. After John didn't sign me up for a federal $10,000 student loan payback program for prosecutors, this is a program where assistant prosecutors or prosecutors could get federal money, $10,000 a year, to pay back their student loans. That would have been very important to me. I do obviously have student loans. When I asked John why he did not sign me up, he got mad and sent me home. I came back the next day to go to work and he told me to never question his authority again. I merely wanted to know why, since every other elected prosecutor in the state of Michigan signed up their assistant prosecutors, why he didn't sign me up. That's all I wanted to know. I never did get signed up for that program. Then after numerous employees have left John's office, as you know, many employees have left because of his treatment towards them. He did actually admit that he wasn't a good manager and asked me to do it. In the past, John has gone to this board and asked for additional money for both Sandra and Sarah to be manager or have those extra duties. I came before the board with John, and this board granted $10,000 to me to do the office manager duties on top of my current duties. John took that away from me after only several months, and later and never discussed it with me, never told me that he was taking it away from me, never talked about it. He never came to the board to change it. When I asked why I no longer got the management money since I was still managing, he sent me home again. Joel, you were kind enough to sit down with, Kevin, John, and myself and go over that. You told John that I should get that money. As you know, he said no. You even said that I could come to the board and you would recommend that I get that money. John stated that he would just reduce my pay by $10,000 then, so I left it alone. I also said I would continue managing without that money, that it wasn't the money, it was just not being told about it. I never did come before the board to try to get that money. I left it alone. Still, after that, John retaliated against me by stating that, by starting a false investigation on me, saying I fraudulently filled out my time slips. When I tried to talk to John about that, and the time slips, he yelled at me and sent me home, stating that my work performance was slipping. That's completely not true. The time slips I was extremely offended by. I did give the board a letter about that. I am currently carrying 80% of the criminal caseload, as well as handling other obligations for the office. I did check with Judge May, Janet Potter, the magistrate, and Judge Pytosh. All of them said that my work performance was great. Regarding the false allegations against me about the time slips, I did send this board a letter. I was hoping that there would be some type of help. I then found out that John lied to Judge Pytosh and this board regarding attorney fees for Dan Hartman on the Merriman case. John stated that the Attorney General's office dropped the ball and did not file an answer. That's not true. Our office kept receiving notices from the Court of Appeals stating that we still had not answered the attorney fee appeal. We received several notices from the Attorney General that it was the prosecutor's responsibility to answer that appeal. After receiving final notices from the Court of Appeals that we still had not answered, Mark and I got concerned. I called John with Mark in my office. It wasn't on speakerphone, but I asked what we needed to do. He stated, we're not going to answer the appeal. I want Hartman to get the money. I confronted John about this in front of Joel, that is what happened. We didn't answer. We lost. It wasn't the Attorney General's fault, and we all knew that. He wouldn't correct it. I called the attorney grievance hotline to see if I had to do anything. I was hoping, since he didn't lie to the judge in chambers, that maybe I wouldn't have to do anything. However, they said I was obligated to grieve him. I didn't want to, but it's not right to lie to a judge or the board. This is a lot of money that the board may have to, or the county may have to pay for. Now he's retaliating against me in the worst way. He's telling people that I'm sleeping with the defense attorney in order for them to get better plea deals. This is a complete lie. It's offensive, and it's way out of line. This is both offensive to my marriage, my family, as well as the integrity of my work. He's stating that I went against his authority and reduced a bond on a case. He's the one that agreed to that bond reduction and on speakerphone with me in the office and the defense attorney on the phone. He's now stating that conversation never happened, even though the defense attorney told him it did happen word for word, just as I did, and even though the defense attorney's secretary could support it because she heard it. Because of that, he's saying that that's the attorney apparently that I'm sleeping with. I don't know if he's accusing me of any other attorneys. He's also trying to use one case that I authorized based on a downstate officer's statement. Once I found out that we couldn't support that case, I did dismiss it. He's now stating that he may have to grieve me on that. On 80% of I'm handling 80% of the criminal docket. There's going to be some mistakes made. That was an honest, good faith mistake. I trusted the officer downstate. We've done that a lot. Once I found out, though, that it was not the case, it was immediately dismissed, and the person's charged in that county downstate. So it's not like they were taken completely off of the street. John has stated that he's a vindictive person. I know that he will never stop bullying or harassing me. He's affected my health and family. I've been to a doctor for over a year for tension headaches that are because of his treatment towards me in the hostile work environment. I have a doctor, neurosurgeon, and physical therapist that all say the tension headaches are because of his treatment. Our county has a no harassment, no bullying policy, and that policy was drafted by John's office. I don't understand why he's the only person that can violate that policy. Some of you have known about John's harassment and bullying for years. Chris, you were nice enough to tell me to talk to Kevin. Kevin has been helpful, and I appreciate that, Kevin. But Kevin, basically says I'm just John's kicking dog, and I just can't take it any longer. I realize you feel there's nothing you can do to stop his harassment because he's an elected official, but I'm still asking for help. I've done everything you've asked. I've gone to Kevin. I've met with Kevin and John on Mondays. Yesterday, I met with you, Joel, Kevin, and John. Because I was obligated to report John's lie to the Attorney Grievance Committee, John's retaliating against me. He's saying that he will continue this lie about me sleeping with the defense attorney for plea deals. He will continue to investigate me for this and may grieve me. And then finally said he may even charge me criminally. This is for a lie that he created. I absolutely love this job. I don't want to leave. But I am asking this board for help. I'm asking the county for help. I love this county. I've dedicated 7 years to it, and I need some help.
Thank you, Shaynee.
Thank you, Shaynee. Thanks, Shaynee.
Thanks, Shane.
Just a little bit of a rebuttal. There was obviously my chief assistant came in and expressed some concerns, and I will talk to the board about some of those concerns. She said that she talked with the officer or with the judges about her work, but I think you need to ask the officers about the daily work, and I know Joel has. She said I sent her home. I did, because she accused me of harming her family. She was paid 3 months to do the office manager position. She went a full budget without getting paid for that, and then the next budget is when that came up. She demanded $10,000.
John, could I just ask, is this, and I, not to interrupt you, I want you to continue if you want to, but is this an issue that you'd rather bring to the personnel?
Well, I could bring
It's up to you.
I think here's what I want to just tell the board.
Okay, go ahead.
And I understand your concerns.
Go
She's
ahead.
asking for help from this board, and the board should know that the HR person has been involved since September. Joel has been involved since November. it was a well-orchestrated thing today, because the only time that the paper got up to record was when Shaynee said, came up to the thing. So I think that that's pretty interesting. And it was last Monday or the Monday before, she made a demand to this board, a settlement demand.
No, I did not. This is out of control. That's not
And
true.
so, let me listen, there was a conversation with that. We had a meeting yesterday. Kevin gave his interpretation of that demand, and now today she has to come before the board to put everyone on notice to file her lawsuit, and that's what she did. I just want the board to know that personnel's been involved, HR's been involved. You guys can do whatever you want. Thank you.
Thanks, John.